guys, welcome back to my channel. This is Fashwika. Welcome to the channel where we talk about the nature lover and protecting our nature and eco-friendly strategies and a lot more on this channel. So if you also love the nature, then consider subscribing. A new video every week, so when we do so, you'll be get notified about it. Let's talk about today's amazing method in which you can approach more eco-friendly. You can as well reduce the waste and you can make a much more healthy environment and protect and save our environment. So let's dive in. Before going past, consider clicking the like button, guys. I do really appreciate that. If you want more such video in the future, consider subscribing, hit the bell icon. Whenever we upload video, you'll be get notified about it. Let's talk about what is that method in which you can actually work on the waste material that are already there in the environment, and that method is recycling. Now you would be thinking recycling is not really a secret method. Most of the people are aware of that, but I'm going to be talking about more depth about the recycling, what are the different categories, what are the different methods in which you can recycle, and I'm going to be also sharing with you one of the ways in which I recycle, one of the amazing thing, and I feel like this one is really interesting. So let me talk about what is that thing that I actually incorporated and I'm going to be sharing with you guys. Now you could see what is this. This is a miniature pot. What I did, I actually take a lot of the paper. Now paper is that we use in our day-to-day schedule, whether it's our notebook, it's a diary, it's a legal documents or text documents, whatever it is, we do have the papers, and there are a lot of the papers in our home which are not at all usable. Some people do sell them, some people do actually throw them away. I mean, it depends on you how you actually do that. But what I did personally, I collected all the papers that was not at all useful for me, and then they are kind of like considered as a waste, so I actually recycled them and converted the paper clay. Now if you are from the art background, you would be able to relate to this, the paper clay, and you might have heard about it. But I created the paper clay and then I mixed with the air dry clay and I created this particular pot out of it. So it is having the properties of the paper. It's quite hard. Once it's dry, it's quite hard, and also it's getting the color of the clay, so it's kind of like mixing the clay and the paper clay together to getting something out of it. This is a really interesting way to recycle the paper, because paper are like have like that only, so I can convert something beautiful out of it, maybe home decor item, maybe a thing that I can use in my day-to-day routine. This is really an amazing way in which anyone can do that. It's quite simple, quite straightforward. I didn't use any big machines or anything like that. I just dipped the paper in water and then I let it through the blender machine, and that blender machine actually breaks down the bigger paper particles into the smaller ones. That's what I did, and then I mixed them and it was quite thin, and then I added into the clay and I created this one. So this is one of the way in which you can recycle the stuff. Let's talk about the different ways in which you can recycle. First is the primary recycling. It is where a recyclable material product can be recovered or reused without altering its current state. So you are using that particular stuff without actually altering their current state. A lot of the primary recyclable will be repurposed for the same use as it was created. So you could see some of the examples of primary recycling, that is the glassware, dishes, jarware items. You could see the toys, donations to the charities, friends or family, electronics. Another method of recycling is the secondary recycling. What is that? Secondary recycling will be repurposed without having to reprocess them. They're gonna be repurposed. I mean, they're gonna be converted into or used in some other way without actually reprocessing them. Used in a different way than it was initially intended. This often happens with DIY crafts and can make a huge difference in ensuring recyclable materials stay out of the landfills. Some of the examples are cut egg cartons in half and use them to plant seedlings. Yes, in which you can do DIY the crafts and you can reuse them and repurpose them into something else. Cut off the top of the plastic bottle to use it as a plant pot. Reuse of plastic, paper, wood, metals to do any type of DIY project. So this is the second type. Let's talk about the last type of the recycling. That is a tertiary recycling, the primary, secondary, and the tertiary. So what is the tertiary? Tertiary recycling involves the chemical altering of the products or material to make it reusable. Here we are altering the products and materials to make it something reusable. That's what I did. I altered the product and I converted it into something else. So that is a tertiary recycling. This may be done internally or externally. If external, the recyclables are recovered and reprocessed through a public facility. It would involve sorting recyclables and placing them in bins to be transported by a reprocessing facility. Internal recycling would be where no public services involved. Some factories or manufacturers may conduct recycling. So these are the three different types of the recycling that we can do. In purpose, the stuff we give it to someone else, we give it to the friends or family members, or maybe give it to the donations. The first type of recycling can be classified by the type of the material that is being recycled. So you can recycle the glass, the paper, the metal, the plastic, textile, or you can even recycle the electronics. Yes, there are so many countries in the world that are actually recycling the electronics, because we do use electronics, and electronics comes in various different shapes, not just the mobile phones, not just the laptop. It comes in the various different screens. Cardboard boxes are a pretty great example of recycling of the paper. So it is estimated that 90 billion cardboard boxes are discarded each year. Out of those, about 75 billion are recycled. Recycling paper and cardboard is important because it can save our trees. Yes, it definitely can save our trees, because if we are actually cutting down the trees to get the new fresh paper, then we are cutting a lot of the trees. So instead of that, you could recycle them. That's what I did. Recycle the paper which I already have in my home, and I'm just gonna be throwing it out. Instead of throwing it out, I could convert it into something amazing. For every ton of paper and cardboard recycled, up to 17 trees can be saved. That's amazing. Okay, so whenever you are recycling something, I'm also going to encourage you in your cause. In addition, this will save 2 cubic yards of landfill capacity and help decrease 4100 kilowatt per hours of electricity. So that's amazing. We are saving the electricity, we are saving the energy and trees, both when we are recycling the cardboard boxes or even the paper. Now it is easy to see why recycling is so important. If that didn't convince you to recycle your paper goods, maybe it will. It takes 70% less energy to make new paper from recycled material than beginning with the fresh pulp. Wow. To paper recycling or the cardboard recycling, because we do get a lot of the cardboard boxes. Even if you're buying anything from the Amazon or in the online space, you get in the paper packaging, or you get in the cardboard boxes which are kept like that only. Some people sell them. You maybe can resell them to someone who is recycling them. You can do that as well, or either you can recycle by yourself itself, or you can either repurpose them and use it in some other way as well. Another recycling is the plastic recycling. Yes, that is also the biggest concern, because I think that the plastic is being accumulated in the environment in the larger quantities, and we are looking forward to actually recycle that plastic to avoid the waste as much as we can. So there are the tons of the different types of the plastic, so it may be hard for you to know which ones are recyclable. Yes, because there are a lot of different types of the plastics. Here is a breakdown of the various types of the plastics and if they are recyclable. So our environment. Polyethylene terephthalate, PET, that is a soda bottles, water bottles, and common food packaging. These items are recyclable. So whenever you are getting the plastics in the water bottles or soda bottles or even the food packaging, these are recyclable. So you can recycle them. High density polyethylene, detergent packages, bleach, milk containers, hair care products, and motor oil. This is also the recyclable. I'm just giving you a basic example. Of course, it might vary from country to country. From another thing, let's talk about the polyvinyl chloride, PVC, pipes, toys, furnitures, packaging. These are so common. You can even see the PVC glues out there, and these are more difficult to recycle. Another one is a low density polyethylene. These are the wrapping papers you could get in the grocery bags and sandwich bags. These items are recyclable. Polypropylene clothing, bottles, tubes, and ropes, it can be recycled into fiber. So that's interesting. Polystyrene, styrofoam tend to be bulky, making it harder to recycle. Others, this category would include those plastics that are not readily recyclable, such as polyurethane. So if you're having a plastics that are polyurethane, these are not readily recyclable. These are difficult to recyclable. Maybe we need more research in this area to actually recyclable such kind of plastics. But you can recyclable the plastics that are there in the food packaging, water bottles, detergent packages, milk products, or hair care products. I think you can recyclable them, and even you can repurpose them. If you're getting the hair care products at your home and these are in the plastic bottle instead of the metal or glass, you can actually repurpose them, maybe use for some other purposes, or maybe you can plant the trees into them or plant the small plants and you can repurpose them. So that's a great way. Another material that you can recycle is the clothing and textile. We all have clothing that we need to get rid, but we do not throw them in the trash. There are the hundreds of organizations that will gladly take your old clothing. They'll repurpose it into taking those into the needs. The old clothing. In addition, you can easily make a few bucks by apparels online or to clothing store that takes second-hand clothing. So you can sell your clothing to second-hand clothing store as well. You can even repurpose them and sell it to the industries or the companies who are actually recycling these clothing and textile, because if you're throwing it away, then seriously you need to think about it. So I would say whatever materials you have at your home and which is not in use, whether it's a plastic, whether it's a glass, whether it's a paper, whether it's a cloth, textile, or metal, look out for the different ways in which you can recycle them. If you can't recycle them, maybe give it to someone who can actually recycle them. Maybe sell it to the companies who are recycling them, because it will really going to help reduce the waste, and also you are saving a lot of the energy for making that particular product from scratch. So that's a great motive. Instead of throwing them away, try to find the different companies, try to find the ways in which you can actually repurpose first in your home. If you can, that's amazing. If you can't, and you see that you can't be used in your home and you can't be recycled, then make sure you contact the companies who can actually recycle them, and either sell them to them or either give them like that only. Another waste is more common is the e-waste, that is the electronic devices waste. This is the most common waste you can see emerging nowadays, like, well, after this technology has been evolved, you see. So these are some materials which you can recycle. Of course, there could be a lot many materials in a day-to-day routine that we use in our home, in our surroundings. Maybe that could be cosmetics, could be that the products that we use. There are so many different things that you could recycle. These are some of the examples. Let me know what you think in the comment section below. Are you recycling or repurposing any of the old things that you have at your home? Let me know if you have different ideas, different strategies, different tips in the comment section below, because it will really going to help me and help all the people who are going to read your comment, because we are looking forward to save and protect our environment, and we as a community can do this. We as a community can protect and save our environment and can make it in a good, much better shape as much as we can. So if you have any strategies, any tips and tricks to recycle, repurpose, or anything like that, please let me know in the comment section below, because it will really going to help me and help other people as well. But thank you so much for tuning in today's video. Thank you so much for supporting me so far. See you for the next time. Take care. Bye guys.